Hi there. Welcome. I'm Michele Simon, and this is my fourth Balkan vocal technique mini lesson that I'm doing in conjunction with Kitka Women's Vocal Ensemble. I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. The last three lessons I've done these last 3 Tuesdays, I've been working on warming up and doing some technique and then learning a song. And tonight, I'm going to be answering some questions. I sent out asked people to ask me some questions, and I've got some great questions to answer. I'm hoping that they'll be of interest to everybody. It's the kind of things I teach anyway. So thank you for sending in your questions. If you don't get an answer to a question that you asked, please feel free to email me, and I'll give you my email at the end of the lesson. I couldn't answer everyone's questions this evening, so if you ask me a question or you have a question that comes up, you can feel free to email me, and that'll be at the end of the lesson. Okay. So I thought I would give a few ground rules of where I'm coming from philosophically. Everything in my training and in my philosophy is about letting whatever the real voice that is inside of each of us come out. We're born into an instrument. We have no control over that, what instrument we were born into. But our job as singers is to allow everything that's possible for us vocally to happen. So that's my bias. And the thing that's wonderful is that to sing things for Balkan music, for a sound that's appropriate for the folk music of the Southern Balkans, the sound has to come all the way out. It has to come all the way to the front of the face. And so that works perfectly. It really dovetails with my philosophy anyway, so that really works for me. No one is going to sound like you. No one's going to sound like me except me. And our job is to use everything we have in there. And that's what technique is for. I wanted to start with breathing. And people often don't like to do breathing in lessons because it's not very colorful and you don't get to make any sound. But, the thing that we're working with is breath. That is our tool. And we need to be, as singers, we need to be using it as fully as we can, because that's all we have to use. It's only breath. That's all singing is breath. So we're going to talk about how to get some good, deep, big breaths. I got a couple of questions about how to sing fully in a Balkan style without hurting my voice, and how to access my real voice. And it's all about the breath. So that's why I decided to start with breathing, because it's the basis of everything. And another little sidelight is that I've been noticing there have been many instructional videos from respiratory therapists who are talking about working with people who are at the beginning of having the COVID-19, or if you just want to avoid getting it, strengthening your lungs, that they're having people do really big breathing exercises. So we're going to do one now, and that's great for the time that we're in right now, is just really making sure our lungs are robustly working and breathing. Okay, so, oh no, there's one more thing. I had a question about pitch, and I wanted to talk about breath in terms of pitch, because often people flat when in your pitch will go down as you lose breath support. So breathing, it's just all about the breath. Okay, let's do this exercise. I want you to put your hands on your bra line, and I will stand up and show you where my hands are. And if you've studied with me before, you've done this exercise a million times. And guys, if you don't know where your bra line is, you're just going to have to, make it up. And I want you just to breathe normally. And because my hands are around my ribs like this, when I inhale, I've got to get in the camera, right? When I inhale, my hands are going out because my ribs are going out. And then when I exhale, my hands are going in because my ribs are going in. See if you can just feel that, just breathing. You should feel your thumbs going out in the back, your hands going out 360. For some of you, this may be like, whoa, I've never tried that before. See what you have to do to get your hands to go 360. Lungs are huge and they fill up our whole body, so we feel them in the back, sides, and the front. So on your next exhale, I want you to exhale, and then on your inhale, I want you to feel your hands go out. And then as you exhale, I want you to leave your ribs out, pressing against your hands. Pressing, 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 pressing. Don't let your ribs collapse. Do not let your ribs collapse. They're not going anywhere. They're pressing against your hands. If you did that, you might, if you were able to do that, and if you're not, keep trying it as I'm talking, you may feel muscles working in here. Every singing teacher you ever had when you were younger said, oh, you've got to use your support. And that's what they're talking about. This is where the diaphragm muscle attaches on the inside of the chest wall. And when we let our ribs stay out and use the muscles to keep the ribs out, it means we have to engage the diaphragm, which is this mighty muscle. So one more time, I'm going to exhale. Inhale so that I can feel my hands, my ribs are pressing out against my hands. And then as I exhale, I'm going to leave my ribs out, 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 etc., 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 etc. At the very end, I can feel mine collapsing. So this is just something, we're not going to keep doing this all night. We could, it'd be very good for us, but this is something you can do on your own. Do it while you're waiting for your tea water to boil, or, you know, standing on your back porch, getting some sun. Just check in and see if, try to get used to that feeling of your ribs really expanding and then staying out, and this working here. Because it's breath. Now the thing about singing is it's breath, so it is terrifying. We are actually taking the breath from inside of our bodies. This is unlike any other art form. There's no other art form that is as vulnerable as this. We're taking the breath from inside of our bodies and letting it come up and go out into the world. That takes incredible courage, and it's terrifying, and it should be, because we're really releasing something very intimate. I've had a couple of questions about nerves, about people getting nervous and being nervous in performance, and I certainly know that. The thing that happens in performance is that we may be very seasoned performers, we may love performing. I do. I love performing, and I've been doing it for a long time. I'm very seasoned, I'm very comfortable on stage, blah, blah, blah. But my body still knows that I'm doing something terrifying. It does. And what happens when we get scared? Even if we, in our minds, and we feel great, I don't feel frightened, I feel really good, I'm excited, and I feel really good. What happens is that our breath gets a little bit tighter, and we rise up a little bit in our bodies. And then that goes into the throat, and the throat gets a little bit tighter. Everything tightens up just a little bit, and it's enough to make the sound hard to come out when you're nervous, or it's hard to start. So I have a couple of images, because I'm an image person. If you're not an image person, I've got one thing that's practical and one thing that's an image. So I'll start with the practical. If you are feeling nervous, feel your feet on the ground. Feel your feet on the floor. Just feel them. Because usually what happens when we're scared, we're rising up a little bit, and when we feel our feet on the floor, that just made me breathe. The other thing is, if you like images, and I got this from someone, I don't remember who, but I've stolen it and taken it for the last 30 years. I give myself a dinosaur tail. I have a dinosaur here. A student gave me a dinosaur. I give myself, but it's really a brontosaurus, like a really big long tail. And because it's imaginary, it can go out of the building. And I have stood on stage. I mean, there have been times with Kitka when I'm standing on stage about to start singing, and I have this huge dinosaur tail that lies along the floor and goes for miles. And that, again, is grounding me and makes it possible for me not to be nervous. So those are my nervous tips. I don't know if that'll answer your questions. Okay, so let's see. What are we going to do now? Let's do some, let's everybody just do a gliss from top to bottom. I'll do it first. If you've been taking these lessons or if you studied with me before, you know what I'm doing. I'm just going to touch every note. This is a place where I'm not singing. I don't know what condition my voice is in right now. I don't know what I've got. So I'm going to touch every note from top to bottom, and I'm not going to sing. Here I go. didn't sing. I didn't make it nice. I heard my break. I could feel my break in the middle. It's kind of fuzzy today because I've got allergies. Okay, try it in your own voice, top to bottom. Don't sing. Here we go. And I hope you were doing it. You didn't hear me. I had a nice little break at my break. You may have had your break. You may feel like, oh, I think my voice is normally higher than that. My voice is lower than that. I usually don't have a break, or I always have a break. I didn't have one then. I just love to do this before I make any sound because this tells me what I'm working with tonight. My cords are probably a little bit swollen because I have allergies right now. So, you know, I have to be tender, a little bit tender. One more time. And drop that jaw. You know, I'm always talking about the same image from these joints here. You can feel that this lovely joint and these really, I've been told these are the strongest muscles in the body. The one that attaches your lower jaw to your upper jaw. Just let the jaw hang from there. And now do your gliss. Here we go. And your jaw is hanging, you could have a wet blanket tongue. It's so heavy. It's just a wet blanket. It would fall out of your mouth if your teeth weren't there. Gliss one more time. Here we go. And okay. That, if you're in that position, that's a great position for singing. So, you know, with Balkan singing, we're trying to get the sound to come all the way to the front and be on the bones. And where's Bartholomew? Bartholomew is back. I like to show this because you can see how deep the nasal cavity is. The nasal cavity goes in like this far. That's a place where all the sound can bounce around. And all of these sinuses are where the sound can bounce around. So we're trying to get the sound to be all the way in the front of the face. And having the proper vowel shape makes a huge difference. And we're very lucky that the South Slavic languages, apart from one sound, which is which is not a very singerly sound, but most of the vowel sounds, all the other vowel sounds, are very open vowels. So they're very nice languages for singing. So let's just do some vowels. So I'm just going to go ah. Let's go ma. Just try it. Ma. Any pitch. I don't care where you are. I can't hear you. Ma. Ma. Now I'm not going ma. I'm going ma. I'm going to think of all of the vowels as vertical. They're vertically opening. Vertical, vertical, vertical. Ma. 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 Okay. I'm going to do it now. Mame. Try that. Mame. How vertical can that eh be? Mame. 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 Okay. Now watch me do mommy. 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 How vertical can that E be? Now when we say E in speech, we go E. Horizontal. We're trying to go E. Mommy. 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 If you can feel any of these vowels up inside your, like behind your nose, you're in the right place. I'm going to now do mamo. I'll do it. Mamo. Mamo. I'm not going mamo. There's no diphthong. Same with the eh. I should have said this at the beginning. Sorry, I got all excited about vowels. Mame. It's not mame. Mame. Mommy. Not mommy. Mamo. Try that. Mamo. 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 And I'm going to do the last one, which is mamu. 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 Just be trying it. Mamu. 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 Now I'm just speaking these vowels, but my goal is that, let's see if I turn this way. The sound is right in here, like behind, in a triangle behind my nose, inside. And the sound stays there for all those different vowels. So let's just try going ma, me, me, mo, moo. I'm not singing, I'm just speaking. Try it, here we go, and ma, me, me, mo, moo. If it were bouncing around, stop and listen. Ma, me, me, mo, moo. That was the placement bouncing all around. Ma, me, me, mo, moo. Is the placement staying in the same place? See if you can find that. Just play around with these vowels. It's just you, right? Ma, me, me, mo, moo. Mo, oh. Ma, me, me, mo, moo. So there's I used to call it a fight and people didn't like that. So we like to say there's a dynamic relationship between having an open mouth and especially having space inside the mouth, up inside in the roof of the mouth, and saying the proper vowel. I like to think that there's an ah in every vowel. So my me has an ah in it. My me has an ah in the back. It's just me in the front, like the lips are coming around in the front and saying me, but it's really ah behind it. Mo, same thing, big ah inside. Moo, it's the hardest one in some ways to find the ah inside, but I've got an ah in the back. When the back part of my mouth gets out of the way, when the soft palate is up, when the tongue is down, that means the sound can come all the way to the front. I'm not stopping it with anything inside my mouth, and that's important for Balkan sound and for allowing your sound to come all the way to the front. So many times when those of us who are not from Balkan backgrounds, when we try to imitate the sound, we end up really pushing in the throat because we get a sense that it's forward sound, but we don't get it up here. So I've been doing exercises for that. So you can go back and look at the old recordings of these past lessons if you want to. Okay, let's see what we're going to do next. Okay, another big part of folk music from the Southern Balkans are ornaments. And we call them ornaments because they are fast moving and they're shiny, but they're not really ornaments. They are one of the characteristics of the music. And they, I've said this before, there are so many different kinds of ornaments done in the different countries, in the different regions, in the different villages, in the different towns, in the different singers, that it's a wonderful rabbit hole to go down for the rest of our lives, is to learn ornaments. So what is an ornament? An ornament is a, let me see. Can you do that? Try it. So you may be going, I can't do that. I spent many years being unable to do ornaments. Bon Brown Singer, who was the leader of Kitka for many years, used to talk about finding your house of ornaments, and I always have said I didn't even know what town it was in. But I have, over the years, learned how to do some ornaments, and I like to pass along how I learned to do them. So I have two exercises, which I'm going to share with you, that are great for working on ornaments. So one of them is just, let me just say, last week I said this, but I'll say this every time about ornaments. An ornament is made up of specific notes. And there's all different kinds of ornaments, as I've said, and you could listen to all different kinds of Southern Balkan music and hear all different kinds of ornaments. But they're made up of specific notes. Every single ornament is made up of specific notes. It's not an approximation. It's not maybe a few of those. It's specific notes. And our job when we're learning them, when we're listening and using Amazing Slowdowner and listening to them slow to figure out what notes they are, we have to know what notes they are. So that's bottom line. I have to know that those are the notes. So here's a little exercise. Yo, 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 yo. And Again, I apologize if my pitch is not great for all of you. I have a particularly low voice. For you sopranos, you may be saying, I can't sing down there. If you could do it an octave up, fine. If you want to do it in harmony or pick your own note, that's also fine. I can sing it a little higher. But I'm going, yo, 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 yo. Let's try it slow. Yo, 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 yo. And then you just speed it up. Yo, 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 yo. So that's an exercise, just work on it. You can do it on all different places in your range and all different vowels. Another one is this other little exercise that I love. So I'll just do the whole exercise. What was I doing? I did straight tone. Just try that. The next one I go, an upward mordant. Try it. So I put those together. Let's do it together. Here we go. And the next one is a waver. Just try it. I have found that the waver is the best way to find the front door of your house of ornaments. When you're doing a waver, which, you know, in Western singing, we would call it a vibrato. It's used very intentionally and as a specific ornament in different parts of the Southern Balkans, and it's used differently, but they don't use vibrato like we do at the end of a phrase. They use a waver as an ornament. I feel a beating in the back of my throat. It's like, it's muscular. I'm not going, and to me, that's where the house of the ornaments is. Here's my throat, here's my face. I've got my full air coming up. My air is going to the front, and something back here is going, Can you do it? If you can't do it, if you can't waver, you can do it slow like that. Work on it. It's muscular. So if we're going to put the first three together, do you remember the first two? Here we go. And the last one is the three-note turn. Try it. So we put them all together. Here we go. Okay, and did you get them all? Well, if you don't, again, that's something you can practice. That was basically the exercise that taught me how to do ornaments when I didn't used to know how to do them, because I always sang the bottom voice in Kitka for many, many years when I was in Kitka, and we didn't have ornaments down there. So it was a new territory for me. But that waver really is kind of the secret of how to find your house of ornaments. So if you're not getting any of this yet, another thing you can do is, it's kind of Woody Woodpecker. And that's a combination, in my body anyway, of doing a very fast, like diaphragmatic, like spasming, and also bouncing in my house of ornaments. Beautiful, isn't it? But that's a great way to find your house of ornaments also. The first way I found my house of ornaments actually was making ghost noises because that got the bouncing into my throat. Oh, oh, oh. Anything that you can get feeling bouncing in the back of your throat. I hope this is helpful. It's hard not being in the room with you. I want to see you all and see how it's going. Oh, well. Okay. God, time goes so quickly, doesn't it? Let's do, let's go ma, me, me, mo, moo. That was a little flat. Ma, me, me, mo, moo. Don't sing. What does she mean by that? Ma, just let the sound come. Take a big singerly breath before you start. Ma, me, me, mo, moo. And ma, me, me, mo, moo. I'm going back to the vowels here. Just wanted to touch on vertical vowels. Vertical, vertical, vertical. Here, ma, me, me, mo, moo. Getting close to my break. And ma, me, me, mo, moo. I'm trying to keep that sound, I'm trying to keep my vowels vertical, have a big breath before, and then have it allows my sound to stay hitting the front of the face. Again, I'm not jamming something there, and I'm not having to press up something from the bottom and like shove it there. Our lungs are just these amazing things. If we fill them with air, there's only one way for that air to get out, and that is through the throat and up through the mouth and out the mouth. And that's what singing is. So all of the sense of having to push something or having to force it or shove it someplace, none of it. It's really huge air and letting it come up and then really having your vowels be vertical so there's no air escaping out the side of your mouth. You're using every inch in there. Let's do one more exercise. I've done it before, but I just want to remind you of the real estate in there. So I'm going to go from the very front pinched part of my face and walk the sound down the back of my throat. You've probably done this a million times with me, but it's just a nice reminder. I'm going to do it first. How am I singing? How am I singing? How am I singing? How am I singing? That's just walking the placement from all the way in the nose back across the roof of my mouth. Try it. You can be at any pitch you want to be at. Here we go. And how am I singing? How am I singing? How am I singing? How am I singing? Gives you a sense of the space that we have in there for all of that air when it comes rushing up out of the lungs, because that's the only way it can get out, and it goes whoosh, and there's so much room in there for it to reverberate around in. Speaking of reverberating in a mouth, I had a question about how is Balkan placement related to Tuvan throat singing and other overtone singing, and I've spent the last 24 hours just going down rabbit holes of overtone singing, and the truth is I don't know. It seems to me that there's a similar use of resonance in the mouth, but I know the tongue is raised. If this is my mouth, the tongue is raised to make the overtones, and that certainly doesn't help us in Balkan singing. So I don't know if that's the best answer, and probably someone who knows more about it will be able to tell you more. Okay, we've come to the end of the half hour. Thank you so much for joining me. It's really been a pleasure, and I want to do my pitch as I've been doing every week to say if you have any spare cash, you could donate at kitka.org. If you have no spare cash but a lot of spare love, you can like Kitka's Facebook page, or at kitka.org you can join their mailing list. And if you have any questions at all about anything vocal, because obviously I just love to explore this stuff, and I love exploring it with everybody. You can email me at that email, michelesimon.simplyvoice@gmail.com. Great. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Take care of ourselves and each other as best as we can. Till next time.